Lewis?
Well, it must be Wales, I should almost say.
Oh, yeah, Wales is very strict. Yeah.
For the notice of
Well, good afternoon. And welcome to the Donkey's Christmas story. And just in case you can't imagine me as a donkey, that would be the case. We have a couple of donkeys cuddling the eagle on the lectern. So just it might look as if it's coming from the donkey's mouth rather than the horse's mouth. And two other things. At the end of the service, at the end of the donkey story this afternoon, we're going to go down to the lich gate and bless the crib that's in the lich gate with a star that's shining brightly on it. And also at the back of the church, you'll see these. Please do take one home. This is it's called at the Heart of Christmas, which is the church's Christmas campaign for 2020. The idea being that you either write a prayer or do whatever you like on the other side, and then you cut it out and you have a decoration for your Christmas tree with a very lovely picture of Mary and Joseph and the baby. Well, at least I'm assuming that's what they're supposed to be on the other side. So please do feel welcome to take one with you. If you know others who'd like one, take one for them. We've got plenty. So they're there at the back of the church, and if you weren't up there, there are also some in the Vaughan Chapel. That's it. Last announcement. I'm going to hand over to the handbells. What I'm going to tell you happened a long time ago. I've had a long life and an interesting one. What happened to me hasn't happened to any other beast I have ever known. Frightening things, wonderful things. I was a very special donkey. I was foaled in Nazareth, a village in the north of Israel. My mother was one of the animals belonging to a Jewish family. Not rich, but not very poor either. There were several children, but I knew one in particular, a girl called Mary. She was the child who looked after me, fed me, sometimes brought me tidbits from her own plate, gave me fresh straw in the stables, and when there were journeys to be made, she led me along as I carried loads on my back. I saw her grow into a lovely, gentle girl, and I knew that soon she would be married. I hoped I'd be given to her as part of her marriage settlement, so that I could stay with her for the rest of my life. In those days, animals were not always well treated, and I was frightened that I might find I had a master who would load me too heavily, or even beat me when I was doing my best. So when I heard that Mary was to marry a carpenter of our village, I was really pleased. I knew that Joseph was a good man who would be kind to Mary, and probably to me as well. But one day there was trouble in the house. Joseph had come to visit Mary to arrange for their marriage. But I heard him speaking loud and angry. You're going to have a baby? It's not my baby. I'm not going to marry you and look after another man's baby, he said. I heard poor little Mary crying. It's not another man's baby. It belongs to God. The angel told me. I could hear Joseph shouting that he didn't believe her, and he went off in a temper. Mary came out to the yard where I was waiting. I wanted to comfort her, but I couldn't speak her language. To tell her that I believed her, even if Joseph didn't. I put my soft nose on her shoulder and tried to nuzzle her chin. I couldn't stop her crying. It's terrible to be dumb when you want to help someone you love. But the next day, everything changed. Joseph came to the house looking quite different. Not angry anymore, more ashamed. I don't know what had happened in the night to change his mind. Perhaps he had a good dream. The sort of dream which explains things you don't understand when you are awake. And Mary came singing out to the stable and put the riding saddle on me. Come on, she said. We're going to visit my old cousin Elizabeth. Because, and you won't believe this, but I know it's true, because the angel told me, after all these years, she's going to have a baby too. So we went off to see Elizabeth. She was a lot older than Mary, old enough to be our mother, I thought. When she saw Mary, she called loud and happy, "Blessed are you among women, for you are going to be the mother of the Son of God." That was interesting. I didn't know what it meant then, but I could see that both she and Mary were as pleased, well, as if they'd been offered oats for supper every night for a whole year. We stayed there for quite a long time. Elizabeth had her baby, a boy called John, and then we went back home to Nazareth so that Mary and Joseph could get married. I thought we'd be staying at home until after Mary's baby was born, but we didn't. I saw her and Joseph happy, and if I'd been able to speak their language, I'd have told them that this really wasn't the right time to be going off on a journey. I did say quite a lot, but they didn't seem to understand. Joseph even told me to shut up. So we started off. I was carrying most of the luggage, and Mary too, when she got tired of walking. It was a long journey, and she needed to ride more and more. Well, we'd gone a very long way. And then, when we were in a small town called Bethlehem, I heard Mary say to Joseph, "You must find somewhere quickly where we can stay. I think I'm going to have this baby any minute now." The next hour or so was really bad. We trudged up and down the streets at that time, and every time we came to an inn, Joseph would ask for a room. But the answer was always the same. No room. You'll have to go a bit further, master. We're full up. Everyone's come here for the taxation. The town is overflowing. last, Mary said, "I can't go any further." We were outside one of those fill-up inns at the time. I don't know what Joseph said to the landlord, but I heard the word stable. And I thought, oh good, a stable for me. That means a room for Mary. She'll be able to have her baby quietly and decently. But I was wrong. I wasn't the only one who was led into the stable. Mary and Joseph came too. And there were the other animals you'd expect. A couple of donkeys like me, a mule, some sheep, and some cows, all looking over the tops of their stalls and asking the same question, what's going on? What are these people doing in here? Why aren't they in the house? I hardly had time to explain before it happened. Mary had her baby. She called him Jesus. She wrapped him in the clothes she brought with him and laid him in a manger to sleep. Take care of that baby. It's very special, I told the other animals. I've never seen quite such a little human baby before. He did seem terribly small and terribly helpless. I couldn't imagine how he was going to stay alive. Any one of those animals there could have killed him with one blow of its hoof. But they were good beasts. They behaved exceptionally well. After that, we had visitors. First, there came a whole group of shepherds, very excited, talking about angels and bright lights they'd seen in the fields while they were watching over their sheep. They really liked that baby. They knelt in front of him and wanted to touch and kiss him and give him presents. Not grand presents, just what they happened to have with them. Some goat's cheese and a newborn lamb. Imagine that little baby being a king, one of them said. Well, even kings have to be babies to start with, stupid, said another. He's the Prince of Peace, a third one said. Not long afterwards, we had a set of quite different visitors. There was a dog, an inquisitive yellow mongrel, who hung around the inn all day long looking for scraps. He came running into the stable one day, panting excitedly with the news. There's a whole crowd of people coming this way. Grand people. They've got camels, and servants carrying baggages. Sure enough, there were more people pushing in at the door than the stable could hold. And the dog was right. These were grand folk. There were 3 of them, grander than all the rest, with long robes, embroidered with jewels and gold, and crowns on their heads. I heard one of them say, "We come from the east. We followed the star to find the King of the Jews." And you should have seen the presents that they brought for that small baby. Gold and spices and stuff that smelled good, useful in that stable. It wasn't that clean. And rich materials and more jewels. One of the kings said, "We told Herod we were coming to look for this precious child, and he told us to go back when we found you. so that he could come here too. But another said, I don't trust Herod. I don't think he likes the idea of another king coming along to rule over the Jewish people. Sure enough, as they were leaving the next day, I saw them go back towards the east, but not the way they'd come from Jerusalem, where King Herod lived. So I think they'd had one of those dreams that told them not to go back to Herod again. And only a day or two later, Joseph started loading me up again, and I realized we were going on another journey. The dog said, Are you leaving us already? I've got quite used to having you around. And one of the cows said, I wanted to see that baby learn to walk like our children do. It's a shame, another cow remarked. Joseph was mending the broken stalls, and he was doing it really well. I said goodbye to them all, but we didn't leave then. Not until it was dark. And then we went quietly, so that no one would notice. Why? I asked Mary. But of course she didn't understand. She just stroked my nose and told me we'd got a long, long journey in front of us. Egypt? I've never been to Egypt. But the angel says we'll be safe there. So I reckoned that bad King Herod had found out where Jesus was and would come after him, perhaps to kill him. By the time we got to Egypt, Jesus was sitting up and taking notice. Not walking, though. He still needed me to carry him for a long time after that. I carried him once when he was a grown man, too. But I'd rather remember him when he was a little boy, when we were back home in Nazareth, and how before that I'd helped to carry him to safety in Egypt, and before that too, how I first saw him, Mary's newborn baby, in that stable in Bethlehem. Did you know that on Christmas night, that's the night when Jesus was born, every year since then, there's just 1 hour when you human beings can understand what we animals are saying. That's the hour I've been using, so that I can tell you my story. Because I think it's the best story you will ever hear.
Now, if you thought you were getting away with it, and that we were going to do all the work, you're wrong. Because if you look on at the back of your program, you will see some words. God bless all good friends here. A very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Now, you are going to sing that as a round because we're not sitting here doing all the work. Ben and the bell ringers are going to be part one. If you're sitting on that side of the church, you're going to be part 2 with Frida. And if you're sitting on that side of the church, tough luck, you've got the short straw, you've got me. Now, you need to learn it first before you can sing it as a round. You need to sing it as a part, I think, as a single one. So if you get Henry to give us the note. God bless all, God bless it. God bless all good friends here. We go. God bless all good friends here. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Gosh, you're quite quick learners, right? Let's well in from the beginning then. We're going to do it all together. Yeah, we'll do it all together first, and then the choir will be part one. And then all the choir, and then the Right, so here we go then. What are we going to do? We're going to do one through. We're going to sing it through first so that everybody has a chance. Have we got the note, please? We haven't got 6, 3, 4. God bless all good friends here. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Right, here we go. 3. I might not to. God bless all good friends here. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless all. God bless all. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless all. God bless all. Happy Merry Christmas and a Happy Merry Christmas and a God bless all. God bless all. Happy Merry Christmas and a Happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Well done. That's all, folks. Thank you very much.
Can I just, before we finish, say a huge thank you to Alison, to Frida, and to all of the hand drawings. I've just realised while I was listening to that I've got the most wonderful antidote for nights when you can't sleep. Because listening to handbell music, I think if I hadn't been standing up, I'd have probably gone to sleep anyway. Because it's just so lovely to listen to, isn't it? And gentle and soothing and soporific and all of those wonderful things that I really can't remember. So let's give them one more round of applause to say thank you very, very much. Now, when you came up to church this afternoon, if you came via the Lich Gate, you can't have failed to notice that we've been at it again. And we've had the most wonderful stable made in the Lich Gate. And inside the stable, and I hope you've had a little peek through the windows and through the door, you'll see some wonderful figures that Jill made for us last year. And we've got one more shepherd this, or is it 2? 2 more shepherds. You see those shepherds, they're multiplying. Goodness knows what's going to happen next year.
Nothing.
We'll need a bigger Lich Gate. And we did say that what we do at the end of the donkey story this afternoon is we go down and bless the crib. So if you'd like to come with us, you are more than welcome. However, there is no compulsion one way or the other. So if you feel like standing out in the cold for about 4 minutes to bless the crib in the Lich Gate, lovely. If you don't bother. Simple as that.